and watching Prom hurt. This movie really freaking hurt to watch. Your boyfriend's trash, May. Your boyfriend's trash. I understand when your friends get in a relationship, you just there hanging, especially when nobody has an interest in you. Terrible. He can't keep his meat to himself. Let's just go there. Let's just say that. You know good and well if this wasn't a Disney movie, if this wasn't PG, you know what they would have done with that dynamic. Because like 3 weeks in high school, it feels like forever, okay?
You know, dude, I can't wait for the day that you stop caring about what people think. That's when you're really gonna shine, because you're so talented. You just care too much about what irrelevant people think of you.
Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back on the pirate ship. Welcome to the pirate ship, Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. Please get that through your brain because But if you're new here, hello, my name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based off children and families entertainment and nostalgia and all the little issues and things within those subjects that I want to talk about. So that's what we do over here on the pirate ship. So, you know, before we always begin all my videos, I do my self-promotion because I can. Like I said, it's my pirate ship. If you don't like it, you can go walk the freaking plank. It's over there. Goodbye. But yes, I am on Twitter now, y'all. Please go follow me on Twitter. Like I said, it's across the screen. Trying to grow my Twitter account because yes, a lot of y'all have been wanting me to get a Twitter. I got one and it's a better way for me to connect with you guys, engage with you guys and whatever. So yeah, please go follow me on Twitter. Next little announcement that we have is Patreon. Please support me on Patreon if you can. I like to post a lot of exclusive behind the scenes videos over there, and I also post early access to my videos on Patreon too. So yeah, it's a lot of fun little prizes and things that are going to be offered over there on Patreon in the weeks to come, and I can't wait for you guys to see them. Also, you get access to my Discord, by the way, if you're on Patreon. Okay, so yeah, if you can join the Patreon, please can. I understand it's just like giving me a little tip for my work that I do, because yeah, YouTube is not easy. This job is not easy. It's fun. I like blogging, but like, y'all, a little tip would be nice. And last but not least, the last announcement that I have is the Progenies. The Progenies is a Descendants fan series that I and many others are creating and putting together in the months to come. We are accepting donations. Please support it if you can. If you can't, please just watch our pilot down below. And yeah, please just support the show. We're trying to get the name pushed out there as much as we can because we refuse to let this show flop. We want to show Disney a better way of doing diversity. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the commercials. Today we're going to be talking about Disney's Prom, a movie that so many people have forgotten about, and I understand why, but yeah, you'll see. Today's episode of Disney December is going to be about Disney's most forgotten movie. I don't think it's their most forgotten movie, Song of the South, but that's what it deserves. Song of the South deserves to be forgotten, okay? We're talking about Prom 2011. That's what we're going to be talking about today. I really feel like that if Prom came out now, if this film came out now, it would have killed it, okay? There would be a whole bunch of fan cams and edits and whatever for this movie if it came out today. It was just wrong timing, We're moving into that like day and age when like more realistic content is what more people are turning to. I really feel like this movie is really overhated, if that makes sense. Like when it came out, I would see so many people just hating on Prom, but now it's like I actually am seeing more appreciation for this movie, and I'm here to praise the movie. As we should. It deserves way better recognition. That's why I said I feel like if it came out nowadays, it would have got better critical reception. I know a lot of you guys don't like my personal commentary videos, but this video is going to be a bit more personal to me, as I did have some type of personal connection with this movie. If you don't like me talking about my personal life and how I relate to the things that I watch and discuss on my channel, you honestly can just leave. It's actually very, very disrespectful when you guys do that. Like, I did that with my lose video, and the comment section extremely disappointed me. Like, if you don't like me talking about me personally and how cartoons and TV and movies help me as a person, just leave. Just hop off the ship. Just walk the plank. I don't care. I don't need you here. You guys were extremely rude to me on that video, and I'm not tolerating it no more. You better get blocked. If I see y'all complaining about me talking about my personal life in any more of my videos, you're getting blocked. I don't care. I don't care. This is my pirate ship. I run this show how I want to. Like I said, if it bothers you, go watch somebody else or make your own video. I don't owe y'all nothing. I don't. Today we will be talking about prom. Not the prom that everybody's been talking about recently. We're talking about just prom. Disney's prom. Not Netflix the prom. Not Netflix's F the prom. Prom 2011. It's a movie about kids in high school, and it takes place over 3 weeks leading up to their school's prom. That's it. That's literally what the movie is, okay? But it sounds kind of like why would I watch that? I'll get there in a minute. This movie has one of the most simplest plots ever. At least for Disney standards, this movie has a very, very simple plot. The movie does take place like over 3 weeks. I give it that because like 3 weeks in high school, it feels like forever, okay? So I don't blame them for having it over 3 weeks. And this movie was very, very well paced over those 3 weeks too. I will give them that. And also, just because I like this movie, no, I love this movie. I'll go there and say I love this movie. There are some things wrong with it, but just because I like it doesn't excuse it from these things. And that's okay. I wish people would understand that you can be critical of the things you like. Like, not everything is perfect. You're not gonna like everything about one thing or one person or whatever. There's a lot of music artists out here that y'all know good one. Y'all don't like all their songs. Y'all don't like all their songs. You still support them though. That don't mean you're a fan any less. I was in the 6th grade when this movie came out, and I remember how Disney promoted it so hard. Like so hard. And it did not do that well in return, okay? Like, I remember in middle school, we used to have to watch this thing called Channel 1 News. If y'all know what Channel 1 News is, comment down below, because I feel like nobody knows what that is. But yes, we used to have to watch this thing called Channel 1 News, where every morning we had to watch Channel 1 News and then write a summary on it. And every day they would like want to become more mainstream and try to make Channel 1 News more cool. And they would do promotions from music soundtracks and albums and whatever. And the music soundtrack for the week leading up to prom releasing was the prom soundtrack. So I have lots of vivid memories of how Disney promoted the mess out of this film. It only made about 10 million at the box office compared to like other things Disney had released at that time. That's actually really, really bad. And the movie wasn't really that expensive for them to make in the first place, and they only made not that much over their budget. So yeah, it's technically considered a flop by Disney standards. I think part of the reason why this movie flopped so hard when it did is because it was simple. It was a very simple movie, and at the time, the other things that Disney was releasing weren't simple at all. Like, bad timing. Bad timing. It came out not too long after Tangled, okay? Like I said, just bad timing. Just a really, really bad timing. Like I said, how I was in the 6th grade when this movie came out. I did not watch this movie until this year during the 2020 pandemic, okay? This movie came out when I was in 6th grade, and I never watched it till this year. In America, the 6th grade is your first year of middle school, and I thought school dances were like the coolest thing ever until like I started going to them and realizing that they weren't. And I realized how much of a social outcast I was, okay? That's when I realized that, like, I was weird. That's when it hit me. I always knew I was weird, but it really, like, hit me that I was the weirdo, okay? Don't quote me on Riverdale with that, y'all. Don't do that. We don't do Riverdale out here. I know many of you guys that do watch me often are aware of the fact that I was a social outcast in both middle school and high school, and I didn't really have that much of a good teenhood for all that matter. I didn't fit in at all. I was just seen as that quirky, weird, nerdy girl that liked kid stuff. That's just kind of like how everybody just viewed me while I was in middle and high school. And people still view me as that now, but it's like, I don't care about the opinions of other people at this moment. Like, if you got a problem with me still watching Disney Channel and Disney and Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and just cartoons in general, you just have a problem with me liking things that make me happy. Like I said, the plank is over there. Walk it. Walk it like you talk it. Prom experience also wasn't great either. Like, I have an entire video on my channel about my prom experience, and I know some of y'all gonna try to ask me about it. I'll have it linked down below for you guys to watch if you guys are interested in that. It's sad. It's sad, I'll give it that. Like, y'all, we be real sad over here on the pirate ship, okay? In Harry's Tavern, the bar for the pirate ship, it's just sad times over there. Just sad times. Like I said, even though it's a bit old, I will have it linked down below for you guys to watch. But watching this movie, the entire time I was just thinking of like what it would have been like if I did like high school and I did enjoy my time. Like, what if I did fit in? What if I was popular? What if I was seen as attractive to my male classmates? What if I had somebody interested in me and wanted to ask me out on my prom? What if I wanted someone to take me to my prom? What if I didn't have overprotective parents? What if I could do fun things outside of school? What if I wasn't so openly weird? What if I was normal? Like, literally just watching this movie the entire time, I was like, if this is what normal kids do, maybe I would have enjoyed high school if I just wasn't the way that I was. Prom focuses on multiple different groups of kids at this one school. We have Nova, who is the class president, the type A type, the one who's just trying to keep everything together. And she is a part of the prom committee. She is just trying to make sure prom goes well. She's trying to make sure it is a night to remember for everybody. And she is joined by Jesse, who is forced to help her. He's like the bad boy of the movie. He's like off-brand, like Bender from The Breakfast Club. He's just kind of like an off-brand version of that. I like him better than John Bender though. That's just me. I'm not a Breakfast Club stan. Don't come for my neck. Don't come for my neck. Jordan is dealing with her selfish boyfriend Tyler, who is terrible. He can't keep his meat to himself. Let's just go there. Let's just say that. You know good and well if this wasn't a Disney movie, if this wasn't PG, you know what they would have done with that dynamic. Lloyd can't get a date. Lloyd can't get a date. May doesn't know how to stand up to her controlling boyfriend. And Lucas is trying to win over the affection of Danielle. And his best friend is not having it. His best friend's not having it. Lucas and Danielle's storyline actually is my favorite point of this movie, okay? It actually is my favorite part of this movie, but I'll get into that later. Character talk it's gonna be a bit different, okay? Because it's not really character talk, because the characters are the movie. Prom is one of those movies where it focuses more on character than it did story, as the plot doesn't move the characters along. The characters move the plot along. Like, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, okay? Like, literally, like, the movie just sits and the characters just do what they do. It's like watching an episode of As Told by Ginger. That's what Prom feels like, okay? This movie, you sit and you just realize these are people. Wow, these are people. Like I said, it's just no crazy plot devices, nothing too serious. Everything is just realistic and you're like, wow, I know these people. I know them. Now we're gonna talk about Miss Class President Nova. I liked her for the most part. She was just your typical main character. I don't want to call her Mary Sue because I feel like people are overusing the term Mary Sue and they're calling people Mary Sues when they really don't know what one is. But I feel like Nova does fall into the category of a Mary Sue, but no, she's just a main character. That's what she is. She's not She's likable enough for you to root for her. She's not really dislikable. She's just there. Like I said, she's just the main character, and I really didn't enjoy her. Your typical skinny, pretty, blonde girl that's just determined to get what she wants done. She wants to go to prom with this boy named Brandon, but Brandon is just terrible, y'all. I'm telling y'all, Nova was too good for Brandon. Brandon was trash. I don't know why she was lusting so hard after this white boy that just he looked like he went in about her soap. Like, I don't know why she was going so hard for Brandon. Brandon just made it, he just couldn't see how great Nova was, okay? Let's just put it at that. Let's just put it like that. He was a bum. He was trash. He was trash. Moving on. Tyler, who is Jordan's boyfriend, later known as ex-boyfriend in this movie, he ended up burning the shed that had all the prom decorations in it. He was being selfish, as he usually is, not thinking of anybody but himself. And yeah, he burned down the prom decorations. Nova was not having it. She was angry. I know good and well that if Nova found out that Tyler was the person that was responsible for that, I don't know what she would have did. We probably would have saw a different Nova than we did in this movie. I'm so glad they didn't tell her who did it though. But it was just an ongoing thing that made me so mad, because every time I saw Tyler, like Tyler literally, we're gonna get into Tyler later. We're gonna get into Tyler later. Now this is Nova time. This is Nova time. So Nova is just determined to make sure prom happens, and she wants these decorations to be amazing because she wants prom to be a night to remember. Play Night to Remember from High School Musical 3.
Bravo! Bravo! Lights, please!
So, in order for Jesse to stay out of trouble, the principal forces him to help Nova rebuild the prom decorations, and he is not having it. He is not having it at first, but over time, as the two start to work together, they do tend to warm up to each other, and it's pretty cute to see. It's really, really cute, nice little puppy love. I usually hate tropes like this when the popular girl and the bad boy like get together, but in this movie it works. Like, it really works well. Jesse is the only person that will listen to Nova. He's the only person that will listen to her. And Nova is the only person that just kind of cares about him other than his mother and his little brother. Jesse needed a friend, and Nova was able to be that for him. They had such a really cute friendship, and I told you, it was really, really well paced. Like, I don't like how they warmed up to each other right away. We did see them fight and argue and whatever, and how they're two completely different people. I love how we actually got to see how they're not very similar, but they were great to each other. Like, Nova's friends were not that good to her, okay? Like I said, they kind of just needed each other. Like I said, over these 3 weeks, they developed a very, very beautiful friendship, because it's kind of like, it's what it's coming from. It's like neither of them ever really had a real friend, because Nova was just seen as like the popular girl that was just nice to everybody, and her friends sucked. They didn't really care too much for her issues or whatever. Like, they did, but like at the same time, it was just like, oh, it's whatever, girl. I got my own problems to deal with. So yeah. Like, Jesse had no friends, and Nova just didn't really care for her well-being. Moving on, we're moving on to May and Justin. May and Justin irritated me. May was, I thought she was pretty dull, but Justin was frustrating. He was just controlling. He was just a controlling boyfriend. He wouldn't like listen to anything. Like, he wouldn't just stop and listen to what his girlfriend would have to say. And it was starting to feel as if she was afraid of him. And that was the scariest thing ever. Like, I hate when people are in a position where they're afraid of their significant other. Like, I hate seeing it. It's so freaking terrifying. And the thing about them is just like, she was just so scared to stand up for him. Like, he even picked out her college. Like, he picked out her prom dress. He picked out her college. Like, it's creepy. Like, I did not like this guy whatsoever. They stayed together in the end, where they finally patched things up and got together. They were already together. What am I talking about? But I just was not here for them. Like, seeing them dance all happy together at prom and whatever. I just wasn't here for it. I didn't, like I said, I didn't care for this couple whatsoever. May deserved better. Your boyfriend's trash, May. Your boyfriend's trash. Lloyd just can't get a date. I like Lloyd for the most part. I think he had the most comical storyline of everyone in the story. Rainy Rodriguez plays his little sister, and she's just trying to help him get a date. But Lloyd is pretty cute. Like I said, this movie's really cute, if I say that. He can't get a break whatsoever, and I'm glad that he actually did find a girl that he did like in the end at prom, like at the last minute. One thing I do love about this movie is that it shows how, like I said, with Nova and Jesse and Tyler and the girl that he was talking to at prom at the end, that is so true. A lot of the best people that you meet in high school, like people you wish you were talking to all 4 years, you don't meet them to the end of the semester of your senior year. It sucks, but it happens. It happens. Well, yeah, I like Lloyd. I like them. But now we're getting to my favorite part, the nitty gritty. The best point of this movie. My favorite part was the Lucas, Simone, Corey, Jordan, and Tyler dynamic, okay? Danielle Campbell's character was the best character. Simone was the best character in this movie. I will fight y'all on that. I will fight y'all on that. Comment down below who y'all favorite character was in this movie. Mine was Simone, okay? Like, y'all, I love this movie. I loved it, okay? Lucas wants to win over Simone's heart, but Simone is messing around with Tyler, who is dating Jordan at the time, and Simone is a little sophomore. Tyler's a freaking senior. Yeah, Tyler's one of those. He's one of those. Ew. Jordan is just really like over his BS, like whatsoever. She doesn't already like the fact that her boyfriend is freaking selfish, and then she like has a lot of speculation that he's cheating on her, and she caught him red-handed cheating on her, and he still tried to make up excuses. Like, dudes suck. Dudes really do suck. He was lying straight to her face. He was like, it's not what it's saying. No, she saw it with her own eyes. She saw it with her own eyes. And then Corey is just there from the sideline watching it all. He just misses his best friend. He just wants him back. Poor little Corey. I understand. When your friends get in a relationship, you just there hanging. Especially when nobody has an interest in you. Let me not expose myself. One thing I do love about this movie is that they show that if someone cheats on you, you should not take them back. I love how they put that in here, because Disney Channel loves showing toxic relationships. And one thing I'm really sad about why a lot of people have not seen Prom is because we actually got to see a cheating scenario handled the right way. I loved how she didn't take him back. I'm glad she didn't take him back. She stood her ground. She turned into the boss babe that she is and went on about her business. Like, she walked into prom by herself. She didn't care. She did not care how anybody looked at her. And I was really powerful of her, because everybody knew he cheated on her, and she went anyway. She was like, I'm not about to let this man drag me down. So Jordan, great. I wish we got to see more of her in the movie. She's played by Kylie Burberry. Love her. She's amazing. But Jordan, for the most part, very strong black lead. I appreciate her character. I really love her. Y'all like to say I complain? No, I'm praising a black character. I love her. I loved her. But I just wish we got to see a bit more of her in this movie. We got to talk about the bad stuff, because there's some bad in here. Y'all, the diversity, it kind of suck. Not kind of suck. It does suck, okay? With the Hunger Games, it kind of suck, because like at the end of the day, the people of color did have great character development and whatnot. They were good and whatever, but at the end of the day, it was still revolving around white people. Here, no, why did they have to make the only black boy in this movie extremely villainized? That was my main problem with it. Like, I don't like him whatsoever. Tyler was horrible. He was a very terrible person, okay? He was cheating on his girlfriend. He was leading on a girl that was younger than him, and a completely different mindset. He was selfish. He only thought about himself. He literally ruined prom. He literally stressed out Nova. This dude was not terrible. Like, I literally would love to fight him if I could. I would. He could probably throw me across the room in one swing, but I would love to fight Tyler. Come catch these hands, buddy. But, like, he just sucks. Like, there's really nothing about this character that I like. He just sucks. And it sucks because he's the only black guy. He's the only black guy in this movie. Like, Brandon was trash, too. Like, Brandon, the white boy, was trash, too. But Tyler was just beyond garbage. I just want to throw him in the trash can. And also, Lucas is a little trash, too. I like Lucas for the most part. But at the end, like... No, not the end. Throughout the movie, he's just trying to win over Simone's affection and whatnot. And Simone does take a bit of an interest in him. You can tell that she does like him. But it's the one part of this movie that really creeped me out. Not really creeped me out, but it really made me angry with Simone. Tyler does take Simone to prom with him. Allegedly. You gotta watch the movie to understand how that happened. That's like one point in the movie where I don't really want to give away a spoiler, because the way she like, I'm not even gonna tell y'all, but he literally started throwing stuff in her window to try to get her affection, and he was like, I love you, and he was just like not taking no for an answer, and I was just like, Tyler, you don't own Simone, like, come on. I was getting like, I felt bad for him, and I felt bad for her, because she was crying, and you can genuinely see that she did like him, but she was going on a date with somebody else. But like at the same time, Lucas, you don't own her. You don't own her. Also, same with Justin just being controlling of his girlfriend. This movie has a bit misogyny in it. It has a bit of misogyny in here, okay? I saw it. I had to point it out. I hate when, I know you guys hate when I do this, but sorry, I had to point it out. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. This movie has a very recognizable cast. It features a very young Rainy Rodriguez, Cameron Monaghan, and Danielle Campbell. So when you're watching this movie and you see a lot of faces like, hey, I recognize that person. I recognize this person. Yeah, it's one of those movies. You know how like back in the day, all the movies with like the big A-list actors in? That's kind of what this movie is. The characters are real. Like these, like I said, they felt like real people. Like people I could be sitting in my classroom with, people that I interacted with school, people that I had went into group projects with. It all just felt very real. Like I was like watching this movie and I was like, I know that person. I know that person. I know that person. That's like a great thing. It was kind of giving me like the Daria effect of the show. Like I love Daria, by the way. Which I like Daria content. I freaking love Daria. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, it's kind of like watching Daria, how watching Prom was. It was like watching an episode of Daria. I hate the fact that when I do watch teen movies, it always brings this wave of sadness, because I always just picture like, what could my high school experience been like if I had a good time? And watching Prom hurt. This movie really freaking hurt to watch. Like, I was bawling my eyes out when you know what? I'm actually glad that I didn't watch Prom when it came out. Because if I watched that movie when it came out, I would not appreciate it as much as I do now. I was too young to understand what was going on in it. And if you would like a teen movie that doesn't revolve around teenagers having sex and being drunk and being high and coked out and whatever, I highly recommend Prom. Prom is just a cute, clean little teen movie. Being an adult and I watched this movie, I'm glad I waited 9 years to finally see this film, because it gave me a very, very different perspective of it. When I was in 9th grade, I had no interest in it. And now it kind of is... it's up there with movies that I would recommend for people to watch if they want to know like what fits my aesthetic. Prom 2011. I adored this movie with all my heart. I know it's corny, it's cheesy, but y'all, give Prom a chance. Yes, the acting can be a bit bad. Yes, it can be a little over the top from time to time. But y'all, it's a PG movie. Like which much more can you expect from it? Prom is a very good slice of life movie. So if you're looking for a movie that is just very realistic, I highly recommend Prom. Especially if you're wanting to watch more content based around teens that does not focus on them getting drunk and being over-sexualized. I highly recommend Prom 2011. It's on Disney Plus to stream if any of you guys are interested in watching it. And you can rent it for about $2 on YouTube. So, yeah, if you ever get the chance to watch Prom, watch it and let me know your thoughts. I really would like to have some prom discourse with these people, because there aren't really much discussion about this movie. Like, a lot of people just kind of forgotten about it. And I kind of want to bring light to this movie. And I feel like it deserves to be talked about more. So, how do you guys feel about Prom 2011? I want to know your thoughts down below. Please leave them in the comment section. And if you would like to see more of me, please go follow me on Twitter. Go follow me on Tumblr. You'll get to see the inside of my brain over there. Go follow me on Instagram, please. I'm trying to get to 7K before the end of the year, and I really have my fingers crossed that I can get there. Please support me on Patreon if you can. I try to make the cheers as cheap as I can. Please support the progenies. Please support the progenies. And yes, this video hurt to make. This video really freaking hurt to make, and you finished it on the end. You funded the progenies. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Love you guys, and yeah, have a good night.
Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA. The Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay.